Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Symbio with T3 Gaming, back with another Star Wars Destiny tournament for you guys. We got a couple matches here from our Q4 kit tournament that took place this last week at Chico, California at Chico Magic. We finally got that Q4 kit in, which we were pretty excited about. It's got the jetpack alt art and the isolation alt art and the 3 damage acrylic tokens. So we were psyched to be able to have the opportunity to do that. So thanks to Becky over at Chico Magic. So we have here a really cool match just because these are some of the top 2 decks in the current meta after the Galactic qualifiers that finished up over at the PAX Unplugged. We got to see kind of some of what the new meta is shaping out to be, and then there's a bunch of regionals coming up. I'm on the left here playing Sabine Ezra, and then on the right we have Zach playing R2-P2 or Ray 2 and Po 2 from the 2-player starter set. It's a very good deck. I actually was going to play that night too, but figured I'd play Sabine Ezra for a little diversity, and also I was more comfortable playing Sabine Ezra. You know, even though it can be very bursty with a lot of damage, everybody knows, and you know, but obviously in some games it doesn't turn up the way you want it to. So, but R2-P2 on the other hand tends to be very consistent. It's got 11 health on both characters. You don't really know who to go for. Although there are some blue cards in that deck that I feel like going for Ray is sometimes a better choice, but of course Poe has his blaster and can just churn out massive amounts of damage. There's a lot of healing in that deck, a lot of shields in that deck, and a smart player, which Zach is, will know when to wait to see who you're going to target so that you throw up all the upgrades. And maybe that's just like a good Destiny player will know how to do that. I tend to be a little more, rash with my decision making. I don't like to wait a turn to like put an upgrade on, but sometimes that's the best thing to do. Against Sabine Ezra, really, this is a good deck for that. I mean, healing and shields are all crucial because she can roll out without you being able to mitigate any damage. So we roll out initiative here. I think I get 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I win the battlefield. He's playing the docking bay so that he can get the honor guards out for free. I think he also forgot what the other support is. Oh, 3PO. So you can get 3PO out for free if you need to, which is another big play in this deck. Go ahead and get the shields just to increase my health pool a little bit. He does get the 3PO here, so Zach plays the 3PO out. He allows you to remove 3PO's die to turn Poe's blaster to a special or to resolve his die as a special. I roll out Ezra and get a +2. He rolls out Poe and gets the special and a blank. So that special allows him to turn, give Ray a shield so that she can do the ping damage, and then also turn any die to a side of his choice. So out of the gate here, Ezra, of course, deceivingly so, he does a lot of damage, or can do a lot of damage. I've got 3 damage on the board showing. I think Zach has a sound the alarm in his hand, and he's deciding whether he should wait to use it. And I mean, in the case of Ezra, I already dropped my X8 sniper, so we know that I'm going to be able to play that out and I get that action sheet. So I think, if you have damage showing against Sabine Ezra and you can mitigate it, you should probably mitigate it. So go ahead and activate putting the X8 on her, roll out hoping to do some major damage here. Looks like I do get a 3. Get a blank and a blank. So that's still 6 damage. That's unmitigatable. So now the question is, who do I go for? Like I said, Zach playing smart here, and I think he had an upgrade in his hand. Let's take a look. I can't see. He's got 1 resource, so he can play the upgrade still if he can get that resource from Ray, but he just won't be able to roll it out this turn. I did put this deck together, so I was looking at it. I know there's probably a couple decks, but this is the one that I was looking at was Elrathion's R2-P2, I think, deck. So let's see. It looks like he rolls out C3PO. I can't really see what he got on it, but I think it might have been a resource. I go and play a running interference. I've got a reversal in my hand, a hidden agenda, but no real money to play either of those. He's going to go ahead and caution, and that's the other thing about this deck is that like those cautions are just so good. No matter who you go for, you're just going to mitigate and play a bunch of shields and heal up the other character that's taking damage. And so the ultimate health pool of these characters is probably more like 18 or something with the field medics. So I go and discard to reroll. I do get a 3 and a 2, and he sounds the alarm on me. I get a 3 for a cost and a 2. So I'm hitting some major damage, but I don't have a resource to resolve the 3.
It's your turn. Oh, reroll damage.
Wait, yes, you played sound the alarm.
I mean, luckily you can't pay for it right now. Yeah.
So I'll have the truce, so I'm able to pay for that 3 for 1. And I get the ambush, and then I resolve 5 damage. So that was 11 damage out the gate from the first turn. Give you a good example of how high she can burst. He goes ahead and spends his resource to field medic. So, you know, even though the shields are gone, you know, Ray is already more than half defeated. So I go ahead and pass, and he's going to gain a shield using the special and turning it to a 2 melee. So he has got 3 melee showing. I go ahead and claim. He's going to do 3 against Sabine, putting Sabine at 1 damage, Ray at 6 with a shield, Poe and Ezra both with no damage, and we will go to the next round here. No upgrades on R2-P2 at this point. So, able to get out of that round from my end without a lot of damage and putting out 11 damage, which is insane. Roll out Ezra first, which is what you want to try to do to steal some resources, or if I have a negotiate in there, which I think I do. Do I? No? Yeah, I do have a negotiate, defiance, a second chance, and a holdout blaster. So with Sabine Ezra, you really have to be lucky to pull your blasters. If you don't pull your blasters the first couple turns, you're in real trouble. I think some people play Scavenge for that purpose, which is actually a really good idea because although this game I am pulling my blasters, I've played other games where you don't, and those don't go so well. So he's going to put the Poe's blaster on Poe, roll out Poe. And he's got 2 ranged and then 2 resources showing. I go ahead and negotiate, paying 1 to remove Ezra's blank, and then he has to remove 2 of his dice. So I'm just trying to take off some of that damage off the board and get the 2 focus. You know, he could re-roll into that 2 focus, which is really scary. I mean, it's still going to be, I mean, you can see how much damage R2-P2 can do, you know, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I mean, it's 11 damage with a blaster on there. So he rolls out Ray, not getting very much, and does a ping damage to Sabine with her ability. If she has a shield, she can do 1 damage. So I go ahead and roll out Sabine because I don't have... actually, I'm going to overwrite the holdout. So overwrite that for free. It's 1 overwrite for that round. Hey, look. Bad roll from Sabine. A shield, and then a blank. So for my second action, I go ahead and play Defiance. Go ahead and re-roll Sabine's die. Get a 3 range. That is like the best thing you could get. And I heal 3 damage. He goes and plays his second Sound the Alarm. I think that's his second one, yeah. And I hit the 3 again. So, you know, rolling very well here. I get a Disrupt on Ezra's die. And it is my turn again because of the Sound the Alarm. What else do I have in my hand? Oh, I have the second chance, which I can't, you know, rewrite at this point. I go ahead and Disrupt 1 and then tap the running interference to say he can't resolve dice, just to slow him down a little bit. He's going to pay to field medic again, so that's his second field medic, putting Ray at 5. No, he played, never mind, he played Willpower. That's why he put a damage on Sabine and a damage healed from Ray. I go and re-roll dice, discarding Hidden Agenda. Get a bunch of shields, and I do get the +2 on Ezra. He rolls out C3PO, so I've got 5 damage. I go and gain 2 shields, because if he hadn't mitigated it by now, I figure he's not going to, just to mitigate some of that damage that I know is probably coming. He's going to turn that to a special and resolve 3 damage. Post Blaster is just very good for 2 costs, being able to do 3 damage. And only has 1 special side, but you use 3PO. 3PO is a great tech card. It's been seeing a lot of play in the Reich and Mill deck. I think basically any red heroes would be playing it. He does do 3. I go ahead and do, let's see, 4. No. Let's see, 3, 2. Yeah, 4. I did 4. So, and he mitigated it with a shield. So, and then he puts a shield on Ray, and we reset. Sorry if we're going a little fast here. Sometimes, especially in these tournaments, you know, you're kind of nervous, and it is a fast pace. It can be a very fast paced game if you know all the cards. I claimed again, so I'm not letting him get the battlefield. R2-P2 is kind of a slower deck. Doesn't really get the battlefield against these fast decks. I go ahead and roll out Ezra first, as usual, so I could use his dice to be able to get resources or get the +2 or steal a resource. He goes ahead and rolls out Poe without playing any upgrades. I don't know if he just doesn't have any. He gets a great roll. 2 range, 1 range, and a special. I think that's a 1 range. Yeah, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. I don't think I have. I've got a running interference, a defiance. I never tell me the odds, a heavy blaster, and a second chance. I don't have any kind of mitigation. I could resolve a die and then say he can't resolve. Yeah, so that's what I do. I go ahead and get a resource. I want to get money in here so I could play the heavy and maybe mitigate a die, and potentially. So he plays an honor guard. So I go ahead and decide to play the X8 so I get the action sheet instead of removing the die. I don't know if that's the best play. Maybe I could have done the 44, removed a die. But I like getting that action sheet is so important to being able to do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, I didn't get a good roll there. Got 2 resources, a +2 on the holdout, and I think a blank on that. Sorry for the glare, you guys. I go and do 3 with the holdout and Ezra, popping Ray's shield and putting her at 10. So she only needs 1 more damage. He goes ahead and does caution, taking one of his dice off the board. So he pulled his cautions, his field medic, and his sound the alarms, and 1 honor guard. So pretty much all of that mitigation in that deck was pulled in the first 2 rounds here. I don't know if he plays defensive stance, or I doubt he plays dug in or any of those battlefield cards. So my turn. I go ahead and play Defiance again because I do have 2 damage on me. Rolling Sabine's die. Get a 3 disrupt, which does allow me to heal back up. So I mean, I've healed 4 damage already. So it's been even though he's been putting out some damage, I've been able to heal up and keep Sabine from being in danger zone. Which is why I love Defiance, but I've played that card before and only rolled a 1, so but I think just healing 1 and being able to re-roll Sabine's die, it's a must-play card in this deck. I should have been playing two sound the alarms. I think I only played 1 in this deck, and especially against like a Kylo 2. So I go ahead and discard the heavy blaster because I figure next round I'll be able to overwrite it. And I use it to reroll. And I get a 3 ranged, a 3 disrupt, and a 1 disrupt. I go ahead and resolve the 3 damage. Oh no, I don't. He honor guards the 3. So doing a very good job. I mean, as much as he can do at this point to control my dice. So, like, I could have played running interference, but at this point I'm trying to get Ray off the table. She only needs one more damage. I do get the 3 range, so that 3 range is rolling like crazy. She pings me for 1 off of Ray's ability. Activates, get a discard and a shield, so pretty bad roll. I go and knock out Ray's shields. If I had a resource, I could, you know, turn that Night Sniper die, but it has a 3 for 1 cost, so I wouldn't be able to use it. But I really just need 1 damage. Yeah, he pretty much used up all his mitigation at this point, which is pretty amazing, first off, that he got all of it in the first round. But it just goes to show you how much R2-P2 can survive. He discards my second chance. So, I mean, I'm not that close to death, so it's not terrible, but this deck can burst a lot of damage. He's going to be able to hit me. He rolls out 3PO for a blank. I have no more cards in my hand. I have 1 damage on Sabine. Nothing to re-roll, and I think it's just a disrupt on that Night Sniper die. So... we are just kind of answering some rules questions from our friends. Next, we had 10 players at this tournament. 2 newer players or people who are just starting to play Destiny, so that was really exciting. I really hope this game is growing. It seems like it is, especially with the current format, I think. Even though there are some decks like Sabine, Ezra that can do a lot of damage, and, you know, it's probably the most cheatiest deck right now, but... You know, 5 dice villains are pretty crazy too. You know, we don't have a lot of people in our area playing those, the villain 5 dice vehicles deck, but or even just like the Rainbow Fives deck. I haven't seen a lot of around here. But no, I know those are really good though, because I've seen them played on TTS and other channels. So I claimed. He's doing 3 damage, 2 more, 5 total to Sabine, and then gave Ray a shield and turned Ray's die to 2 damage. So we're resetting. We got 10 damage on Ray, 6 damage on Sabine. I've got 2 weapons on Sabine and 44 in the discard. I get to go first.
Yeah, it's just bursty, you know.
So hard to deal with.
I mean, you can't deal with it, really. I mean, so, but you can see, though, it's nice, like, you had so much defense.
So we were just talking about how R2-P2 can, like, how much it's staying alive. Pretty much any other deck, other than maybe Palpatine, but even still, Palpatine, if he didn't get shields, like, you know, he'd be dead already by now with the amount of damage Sabine's done. You know, if you the 11 plus the 3 shields and then the other 3 shields, I mean, that is 17 damage already, plus the willpower 18 damage, plus the 2 field medics is 22 damage. So she's done a lot of damage already with Ezra here. So I roll out. Ezra gets the +2 again and a blank, and I'm gonna go ahead and say tap running interference to say he can't roll out. He does play the ancient lightsaber on Ray, which is going to get him the other 2 potential heal here, which is going to put me even further away. So at this point, I'm thinking, God, you know, I have to take out Ray right now. Otherwise, you know, the amount of damage I've put into one character is insane at this point. So I go ahead and play, I think, the 44 from the discard. And I go ahead and I'm trying to decide if I should do the 1 overwrite or save it. I don't think I have my second chance, so I go ahead and do the overwrite. Oh, I have to because I only have 2 resources. He has no dice in the pool, which is unfortunate because the 44 does you know, have him choose to remove a die, but I wasn't going to wait and have him heal. So this is my only chance. I have to roll damage here. And I get a major god roll. 3, 3, 2, and a 3. So I only have 1 resource, but enough to pay for 1 of those signs. And I have Ezra. So this is the most insane god roll I've ever gotten with Sabine. This is... So I need to do 4 to Ray to kill her. So I do the 4. Oh, so it's a 2 on Sabine, not a 3. So I do 6 to Poe, 4 to Ray, and I still have 1 on the table here. The holdout blaster with the... So this is just what Sabine Ezra does when it rolls well. You know, there's not a whole lot you can do but shield up and heal. And, I mean, obviously, I think if you could disrupt Sabine Ezra, that can be very powerful, not letting her play upgrades. So, he played a hit and run, and activates Poe and does 2 damage to Sabine, putting her at 8. I don't have a second chance in my hand, so I am getting a little nervous. I have never tell me the odds, you know, which, like, those cards are really good if you are in a situation in the early game where you can't get that action sheet out, and those are the cards you get, and that's kind of like your backup plan. You play Hidden Agenda, you play Never Tell Me the Odds, or Infamous to be able to get the action sheet a different way. But when you can get the action sheet out with the weapons from the discard, I think that's the best way to go. So Zach discards to reroll. All he needs here, let's see, he's got 6, 7, 8. He needs 3 damage. He's got a focus in a blank and 3 PO. So he can get it. He needs 4 damage. He needs the special... Oh, no, he doesn't have the Post Blaster. But he really just needs a... He needs both 2s, right? So he could focus one of them to a 2, so he just needs the other 2. So I go and discard my other heavy blaster, reroll, getting 2 resources. He's gonna reroll. So I have an electroshock in my hand. So he does get the he's just not getting the damage. I take 2 resources. All he needs is a focus and a 2, just one of them to be a 2, and he's discarded again. So I don't know why I claimed. I had an electroshock. I should have waited.
I'm looking for 2, and then I can focus the other.
Yeah, he was just looking for 2 damage so he could focus and kill Sabine. I should not have claimed, because if he had hit the 2, then I could have at least electroshocked it. But I really wanted to get the battlefield. So, but that was a bad choice on my part, you know. He's going to focus to 2. No, he's going to double focus to a resource in 2. His Sabine for 2, putting her at 9. No, 10. So I got 10 damage on Sabine. I do have one of my holdouts on her for the redeploy, but I really want the other holdout so that Ezra could take care of business if he needs to. Poe has 6 damage on him with only 1 upgrade. So all I need is 5 damage to roll out. I do have a Never Tell Me the Odds and a lot of resource, so I know that I can be able to get that off and then tap Running Interference so he can't play a card, potentially. I also have the Infamous in my hand, so I could drop the Infamous, right? And then roll out Sabine, assuming he doesn't, you know, mitigate all the dice, Never Tell Me the Odds, tap Infamous, and hit him before he can do anything. So that's the other big combo in this play. So I go ahead and do that, play an Infamous. So Zach's got 3 resources. He's not, I don't know, I guess he didn't get another upgrade, or maybe he's just like, I need to roll this out. He gets 2 focus, a blank, and a resource. So a bunch of trash. I'm looking through my discards. I have the X8 and the heavy. So I don't have the second chance, so I'm not going to be overriding a second chance. So if Sabine dies, she's going to die. I go and do the overwrite, and he has to choose and remove one of his dice. So with only 3... I actually totally spaced on that. I forgot about that, and Zach reminded me, like, yeah, you get to remove a die. So I roll out. I get a 3 damage on the Night Sniper. No, 3 on Sabine, 3 on Sabine, and then a shield. So there's nothing he can do about it. He doesn't want to shake my hand because it's a dirty Sabine Ezra deck. But yeah. Yeah, my next play, of course, was the Never Tell Me the Odds infamous play, which would have killed him anyway. But, you know, when Sabine Ezra rolls well, there's really not a lot you can do. I think the biggest thing, just a real quick, I think against Sabine Ezra, I mean, it's, other than it potentially not rolling well, like assuming it does, and it does, I'd say roll 50% to 60% of the time. I think it rolls pretty well. I mean, it's got enough 3 sides for it to do a lot of damage. And the thing you can do, you got to heal, you got to have shields. I think actually one of the strongest plays is maybe like a Han Snap deck. Nobody around us plays it, but I feel like that would do well. If you can choke Sabine Ezra's resources out like early and not let her play those upgrades and then mitigate her dice, that can be huge. Like, because then she doesn't have all the dice on the table. But you know, it also depends on how it's played, right? I don't consider myself like an amazing, you know, meta Sabine Ezra player, but I think that also goes to show you that it's one of the most reliable in the sense that it's not. I mean, there are a lot of choices you can make with Sabine Ezra, and if you make the wrong choice, then, you know, obviously you're not going to do very well with it. But I think it's more flexible in the sense that even when you don't roll well, there are answers in the deck options, like Never Tell Me the Odds and Reversal and so forth, that can help you out. And Ezra, allowing Ezra to steal resources and disrupt resources is actually really good against like Rise Agains and that kind of thing. So, but anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Hope you enjoyed that match. And probably wasn't so much back and forth with all that crazy action cheating. But at least you get to see what a full-on lucky Sabine Ezra deck does against R2-P2, which is, again, a very, very good deck. So we'll see more of that in the future. All right. Thanks for watching, and give us a like, please, if you want to kind of keep seeing Destiny content. Let me know, and also subscribe if you aren't already a subscriber. So we'll see you next time on T3 Gaming.